The Monsters Playbook is an adventure podcast for grown-ups. It contains violence and profanity and deals with adult themes that may be uncomfortable for some listeners. Specific content warnings can be found in the episode's show notes. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to the Monsters Playbook, an actual play Monster of the Week podcast where I actually surprise myself with how mean and weird I can be. You think I'd be used to it by now, having been this way all my life, but no. Every day it feels like I go, whoa, Johnny, maybe chill. But I don't. I don't chill. This week on the cover story, Anna, Kira, Theo, and Mark are going back to the Sea Kingdom, which they should really stop doing because you know what they say about the sea. But they have a good excuse this time. Some of the evilest people in their world are up to something in there. If they've got a hold of the Witchwood, an unending source of arcane power, there's no telling what kind of evil they could be up to.
I'm John, and I play Mark Clayton.
I'm Lauren, and I play Kira and Anna Ashwood.
I'm Miah, and I play Theo Nessos.
I'm Johnny, I play literally everybody else. Let's fight evil. All right, so armed and allied, ideally as best as you can, you head forward into the rift that you made with the pilfered bit of coral from Vincent's car.
I would like to say, for the record, I'm kind of imagining that Kira maybe used a woman with a plan hold before they left.
To have done what?
I think Casey had asked, is Tommy with you when, asking if he was going to come in with us to the Dead Sea. And Kira had said he's on a job. I'm wondering if she could actually have used that hold to actually help Tommy go on a job for her. Send him on a little mission.
Say more things.
So I think prior to going through, she would have called Tommy and would have asked him if he could have maybe taken Nick and maybe some of the folks from Dawnbreak to check out the other locations and retrieve the tree that were there. Or at the very least, scope it out.
Sure. Why don't you roll on their behalf, just act under pressure?
It's a 10.
Okay.
So then, I think I would call him up to ask him for his help.
Flashback.
Hey, can I ask you for some help with something?
Usually. What's up?
This is kind of a big one. We've found some witchwood that's been growing throughout the city. There's been fog that's been rolling in. Nick probably knows what it means. It's some sort of ancient magical wood, I guess, that witches could use. And it could drain other people. It could be bad. It's like a big magical conduit. Other people are probably after it, and I can't deal with it right now because I have to go back to the Dead Sea.
What about your people?
Well, Gad is been kidnapped, which is why I need to go to the Dead Sea. There's probably a few people you could grab from Dawnbreak to help out, but I need somebody that I can really count on. And to be honest, the people in Dawnbreak are a little hesitant to go find these trees after what happened with Gad.
You want me to go make them a little less hesitant?
I mean, you've got a way of people, right? Look, I need somebody on the ground to help with this. Can I count on you?
You can count
Okay.
on us.
Hey, when I get back, let's go out, just hang out and go on a date or something. Because Oscar Henriksen is going to be in the Dead Sea, and could really use a break after this.
Yeah. You're sure?
Yeah, he's there. He found his blood. He took Gab.
Well, kick him in the nuts for me.
Will do.
All right. So that's what happened. Meanwhile, back in the present tense.
So, do you think that we'll, see the charming coachman?
Whomst are you asking?
Mark.
I mean, probably. We tend to keep running into him every time we go there.
We're through the rift now?
So, yes, I think with that last bit of pleasant dialogue, you will step through the rift, and I think immediately... Well, no, you wouldn't really notice that because it is cold on this side as well. But on the other side, it is just as cold, but a whole lot more dark. Just like the last time you came here, you're on sort of a impacted sandbar type surface that you're walking on. And then in basically all directions, you can see a few feet and then it sort of just fades into black as though there's no, sort of like it hasn't loaded yet, almost is what it looks like. It just sort of goes
The
off
draw distance.
into darkness, and you can't see much.
You got to turn on more chunks.
Theo like curls up to Mark a little bit like closer and she's like, hey, do you think you could like maybe light it up a little bit?
Yeah. Mark clicks his fingers and directs the flame light outwards as kind of like a flashlight.
Roll use magic.
13.
You throw out a little fireball that does light up, I'd say another couple of yards in each direction. And then basically for the foreseeable, with that roll, this fireball will just sort of maintain itself and kind of hover and be totally within your control. So you can like kind of have it hover a little ways above you or in front of you. It'll walk with you.
I think as soon as we get through, Anna might actually kind of talk to Lowry in her head.
Okay.
Hey, do you want to pop out for a bit? Or are you cool to stay in there?
Before you finish the sentence, there's just like a poof of, I think some sort of sparkly fog almost for just a second. And then like he's been dumped out of something moving very quickly. Lowry will sort of land in a kind of slowing run and then be standing there and be like,
Oh, hey.
Hey, bro.
His hair looks shitty again. He will like push it back and up and out of his face, but a few strands will still drop.
Okay.
Wow. He takes a huge breath and is like,
Does it smell like home?
no, but at least I can breathe it.
Excuse me. Oh, yeah, I get what you mean. Never mind.
Anna.
I thought he was talking specifically about my head, but he's just talking about Earth. Okay, you're fine.
Oh, boy.
Well, he sort of looks around. Now what?
Now we go kill people.
Well, do we really?
Sorry, I mean, now we go rescue Gad.
Oh my God. You human beast.
Which direction should we head?
Kira will actually look to Anna and Anna will be like, right, Skull? Ramsey, Lincoln, is Skull available to help? Can Skull help track down Gad?
Roll manipulate someone, Anna.
That is a 12 advanced move.
Okay. In a few seconds, you will hear like huge, distant, almost papery flapping of giant wings. And then you will see sort of like, as though painted on the black velvet of the dark sky here. I know I keep making things sound like you are in a video game, but he does seem like kind of jerky, jumpy, like he's stop motion or low frame rate.
Yep.
He gets closer. It becomes clear that he's not as far away as you initially assumed. And then he will land in front of you, this enormous crow. He's probably like 10 feet from foot to beak. You rang.
Hi, Skull. We're looking for Gad. He is Kira's apprentice, and he was kidnapped and brought here by two other people, we think. Would you be able to help track him down, please?
Well, that depends. What can you give me of his?
Kira probably has maybe like one of the medallions that like Gad had from Dawnbreak, and we'll kind of hand it over to Skull. He's worn this several times. This was a way for us to pass into other worlds.
He'll reach down and grab it with his beak and then sort of lift his beak up and down a couple of times as though weighing it. And then he'll go, "This will also suffice as my payment." Then he will dip low and then hurl it into the air and then just swallow it whole.
Ooh. Okay. There might be two other people with him. Tower or Oscar are their names.
I don't care.
I don't know if it helps you find them.
You've already given me all the help you can. He flaps his wings and like some of the dirt will like sort of displace away from him, but you will not feel any wind.
How does this work? Does Skull like lead us there, or does Skull find where he is and then tell us?
The way it worked before was that Skull sort of went before you and you followed.
Okay.
So he will go up into the air a few dozen yards, I'd say, and sort of hover there for a bit, looking around quickly from side to side. Yeah, his sort of head and neck will stiffen and he'll point off to one direction and then flap away down sort of towards the left of where he had been facing. You can see and follow where he's going. And he will go up, 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 such that you can continue to see him.
I'm glad I chose to wear my good shoes today. Looks like we're going to be doing some walking.
I think Anna looks around and is just like, any way we can hail the coach? Is that a thing we can do?
I could try to send him a message.
Sure.
Yeah, do it.
Mark, roll plus weird.
12. Ring, 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 ring.
It's not how it's going to work.
Okay.
What's the message you want to send him?
Coachman, are you available? We could really use your help again.
Tell him I say hi.
Oh, and Theo says hi.
The response you get at first is it's an image of Preston Lariat and then a sort of inquisitive feeling. So he's showing you the image of him and then a question mark.
I think Mark acknowledges and just shakes his head. I don't know if he can tell, but no.
Roll manipulate someone.
Can Theo help out since Mark said Theo said hi?
Yes.
11.
That is a 9.
So your 11 becomes a 12.
Okay. Well, then I have some good news.
And
I have some bad news.
Oh, no.
You get back just sort of the feeling of affirmative, but then you hear the way I want to describe it is a snarling stampede. If where Skull is headed is 12 o'clock, this is at 4 or 5 from vaguely behind and to your right.
I think Mark looks in that direction and gulps slowly.
Yeah, I think we all turn and look.
Do we see anything?
Roll read a bad situation. And someone else roll help out.
I really want someone to ask, what is that?
Kira will roll read a bad situation. I think she's in hyperactive mode right now and is just assessing everything.
Theo will roll help out because I'm assuming and hoping it's the coachman. Can I get to say hello again?
It's an 11 to read a bad situation.
Okay.
It's also an 11 for help out.
So then with that help out from Theo, then Kira's read a bad situation becomes a 12, which is advanced for her.
Okay.
Guys, I think our ride is almost here.
The freebie I'm going to give you is that is not the charming coachman.
The coachman. I think that might be, what were they called? There was the other thing. What were they called?
The Raiders.
Oh, the Riders.
Oh,
The Riders.
Yes.
The other free thing I will give you is that it is not them either because they were in the sky.
Oh, fuck.
That's so much cooler.
3 questions.
Also, I want to just add Mark back in and say, I think that's our ride coming.
And then I think Kira's
Kira.
that's not our ride. Could I ask, what is it?
I suppose. It's a version of the skeletal fishmen that you'd fought here before. I think from this range and with that roll, you monster, they are, I want to say, heftier and likely not exclusively bone.
A little bit of meat on them bones. Okay. What's our best way out? Avoiding them?
You kind of look off where Skull has gone. There is cover in the direction he has gone.
Okay. So instead of asking what's the biggest threat, who's the biggest threat to these creatures, if that makes sense? Who would it regard as the biggest threat?
That works. Mark.
All right. I think Kira, after Mark says that comment about, I think it's our ride, Kira looks back at Mark and is like, that's not our ride. Those are the same type of shit as those skeletal fishmen, and we need your firepower. She points to the kind of outcropping maybe that in the direction that Skull flew, and she's going to say, we're going to head for that to get some cover. Mark, I want you to throw some pot shots at them as we run.
Okay.
Do you want me to help?
Yes. Fucking torch them. And I think she also turns to Anna and she's like, is there any sort of spell in there that can give us some sort of shield us or something? Anything that you know? And she's pointing between the fucking mages Ruby and Anna and Theo. Start thinking. And then I think she's like, let's go. And then she starts directing everybody to run.
Theo starts backpedaling and sort of running, but looks at Anna. I mean, I can throw up a force wall. What about you?
My impression is that Kira was talking about something to hide us, if Tower's watching maybe. But
okay, I can't do that.
Okay, well, maybe if we can get to cover, I can find something in this book.
Well, I can do that, but not on the move.
Yeah, okay, I'll do that let's get to cover. And I think Anna takes out her shotgun and is like, this isn't going to be great range, but this will do. We start to make a retreat.
So the move is you're going to run with Mark throwing fiery pot shots behind you as you go.
Whoever has range to
I'm gonna
try picking him off as we get to cover.
Yeah. So do we start running? Is that what's happening?
We all start making a beeline for the cover.
All right. As everybody turns, Mark is gonna just like lay a field of fire and try to just shoot a few fireballs through the fire line, just to kind of like keep him back a little bit.
The answer is yes. Mark, roll use magic. Theora, roll help out.
13.
I roll a 10 for help out.
Okay. What's that make you roll then, Mark?
I just rolled 13.
Yeah, so it makes it a 14. Can I submit what I'd wish Theo's help out would look like?
I submit away.
If Theo would be able to use her force magic to create a bunch of little walls, I'm kind of imagining almost like an obstacle course, but they're like invisible along and within the fire that Mark is putting up, so that these creatures are just like slamming against suddenly like these invisible walls.
Yeah, like the race level from Battletoads. I'm on board. I read your blog. Okay, I think that makes sense. Then, of Kira and Anna, I need one of you to roll Act Under Pressure and the other to roll Help Out for the team to run.
Anna will roll Act Under Pressure and Kira will roll Help Out because of that helping hand. So Anna rolled a 10 to Act Under Pressure. Kira rolled 11 to Help Out, which that makes Anna's a 12, which is Advanced Move, Act Under Pressure.
Okay, I have some good news. And some bad news. So Mark throws down this fire barrier behind you and starts shooting.
I got you guys.
Makes some of it basically just become almost like little fire cannons. Meanwhile, there is like an invisible obstacle course for these things to get through. You are wanting to put as much distance between you and them as you can, so you don't wait around to see whether or how they crash into them. Meanwhile, Anna and Kira are basically shoving everybody along, making sure that they are jumping over any outcroppings that there might be. You reach the cover that you knew was here. It's not what you thought, I think, because what you see kind of coming up to you is just this like wall of kelp. Long, sort of growing up from the ground and somehow floating up and off higher than you can see. Kind of the shape and consistency of like lasagna noodles, just it kind of becomes this kelp forest.
Okay.
But it all is like ragged on the edges because, of course, like everything else here, it is dead.
Okay. I was just gonna say, is there like a good place in this kelp forest for us to take cover or get into position? Like, I think Kira would be trying to assess like the best place to maybe post up.
Do you mean I can try and like blast a hole through it, like part the seaweed?
There's no problem of you guys like walking through it and sort of pushing things aside in that way. It's not so thick that you can't move through it. If you will just sort of dive in, yeah, you will sort of to one end reach, because your rolls I'll let sort of ride as you walk through this thing, and you will find a clearing.
Okay.
A few, maybe 50 feet in.
Oh, like what now? Like, I mean, it's probably not a good thing to wait here for them just to see if they'd come.
Well, we have cover here. We can take them out. If we keep our position, we hold our position, we shoot them down, we take them out, and we regroup. But at least now we have some cover. Can you make another one of those shield barriers and put it out in front of us so that if they try to run up to us, they'll get battered back?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, you do that. Mark, we need you in a good position so that you can take out these guys with some of your fire. And I think Anna is maybe like flipping through her pages and trying to see if there's any sort of spell that would like almost like make like a Molotov of Mark's like fire. So like it make it combustible so that it would like explode. If that makes sense.
You want to like conjure oil or something?
Yeah.
I mean, the thing that Anna would have would be the grenades. Like I think.
Oh yeah, we have our items. Okay. So yeah, and it explodes with minerals. So could the mineral be like some sort of oil-ish thing?
I'm thinking like adventure game style. It will take an Act Under Pressure roll to like combine Mark's fire magic with them and see if you can create a sort of life chaff napalm.
Okay.
Oh, I got it. What if we were to use my this new weapon here? You know how it shoots
Shoot the
Yeah,
petrified wood.
Petrified wood. What if I were to like dip that in this solution that we're making or whatever? Like
Set them on fire?
Yeah.
Flame spikes?
Flame spikes. Let's do it.
That detonate on impact.
Vampire's worst enemy.
It's gonna be a roll, but I am all for that.
I almost want this to happen like as you guys are like figuring this out how to get the magic together. Mark just walks over with his gun and like dips it in and goes, let's do it.
So here's what's going to happen. Because basically, Mark, what you are dipping these things in is your magic. So, Mark, roll act under pressure to do that with the spike driver. Anna, roll act under pressure to do that with the chaff grenades.
Fuck. 7.
13 for advanced move for Anna.
Okay, Anna, yours, you now have 2 life chaff grenades and 1 fire imbued one. And Mark, yours is probably going to be fine too.
Fuck.
I'm feeling good about this. Feeling good.
Theo rolled a 9 for use magic to create a wall barrier like Kira had asked.
Okay, pick a glitch.
Like Theo digs. Oh, yeah. The effect is of short duration.
Okay.
Like I think Theo reaches into her pouch of sand, realizes that there's not as much as she thought there was, and just kind of sprinkles a line and then summons this force.
Who has the highest sharp?
Kira has +3.
I have +3 as well.
So you've all made it there. You're all sort of squaring off against the way you've all come. Donovan has his super long rapier drawn. Ruby seems to have some kind of magical aura going on around her hands. Her big golem thing is there with its big blobby hands fisted up, ready to fight. The dog with the mask for a head is facing the opposite direction. Squared off that way.
Okay. I think Kira notices it and will say to Ruby, "What's up with your dog? Does she see anything in the other direction?"
Roll read a bad situation.
Okay, it's only a 7. I think I would ask that question. Are there any dangers I haven't noticed?
Yes. I think first and foremost, everyone who's focused in the one direction, the direction back the way you came, as you outran the sort of sound of the stomping of feet, it hasn't seemed to get much closer. There is a swishing of these dried leaves coming from the direction that the dog is looking. Ruby will bend down and she'll place a hand on the mask, but her hand will go straight through it and make a little squishing sound. She's like, "Oh, right."
Gross.
Yeah, flick her hand off and sort of maybe reach over to one of these kelp sprouts and run her hand over it, wiping it clean, and then lean back down and be like, "What is it, Puppo? What do you hear?"
I think Kira is kind of just staring down in that direction, and she says to the rest of the group, "Well, we're not alone." The footsteps of those riders are kind of still far away, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not the riders, just a point of information.
Do I need to summon another one? Theo looks to Kira.
A weird voice from beyond this direction you hear go, "It won't save you."
Don't like that. Who is there?
There's more sort of steps.
Oh.
And then out from this screen, the tip of a sword will poke through.
Is it possible for Theo to because I think she had created a flat curved wall, but would she be able to manipulate it to create a dome around us to encompass us and protect us all from all sides?
For a short duration, if you use magic.
Yeah, can I roll it?
Mm-hmm.
8.
So here's what happens. Theo goes, "Shit!" and pulls this thing into, I think not quite a dome, but just a rainbow kind of over the top of you to try to land on the other side. And it will knock this sword to the ground.
Does whoever was holding it try to grab the sword?
Here's what you see. The sword gets knocked and pinned to the ground. There is the hilt of the sword. There isn't a handle. There is a metal hand that is etched and inlaid in ways that you can't get just yet. And then someone will actually run up this arc of shield, and it appears to be like a slight of build, about your age, young woman, except her skin is entirely this sort of metallic gold, and she's wearing like a long flowing white sleeveless dress, and she sort of reaches behind her and pulls another sword, all still attached to her wrist by this metal hand, and so she still has two swords in hand, and she runs up to the top of this thing and sort of perches and waits.
She's perched at the top of like this force field.
Yes.
Can Kira roll Dark Past and see if she's seen the etchings that were on this arm, see if there's anything familiar about them?
Wait, did you say that she had runes on her or something?
So like the sword that dropped and the both of the hands that are holding her two swords that she's holding now appear to be made out of proper, like, sort of gilded metal with some kinds of symbols and runes etched into them, but you can't think, based on the speed that things are happening, you couldn't know much about those. You would have to sort of pick it up and look closer. I will let you roll Dark Past, though.
11.
Okay.
When I dealt with this creature, one of its kind, what did I learn?
So I am twisting this a bit, but what I'm going to give you, what you're going to get, is she's part of a set, and you get an odd vibe off of her of hope and despair reaching out for something, salvation, a way forward.
Those are some very interesting words.
Aren't they?
Oh God, Johnny. I know what you're doing, I think.
You can't reveal that to him.
Those were some very specific words. Let me find it.
Yeah, this rings a bell.
It's one of the tarot readings. The 9 of Swords. Okay, so I have one more question with Dark Past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do I know anyone who might be behind this?
Yeah, it seems exceedingly likely that this is Tower's doing. The dog, for its part, jump away from Ruby and then run off. If where you guys came from is 6 o'clock, this woman came at you from 12 o'clock and is now above you. The dog's gonna run off to the left at 9 o'clock, out of the clearing and into the kelp forest after something.
Where are you going? Ruby! I think like Kira looks at like, what's your dog doing?
Protecting us. And she will face off against that way.
Okay.
Who has eyes on this one?
She pointing at the 9 of Swords. I think Kira says this is one of
not quite.
Isn't it?
You'll find out.
Well, if I'm remembering correctly, it was 2 of them, so it's like the 4 of something or something. It was like 4 plus 5. So maybe it's the 4 or 5 of Swords. I don't know. I think Kira will kind of say to everybody in the bubble, this is one of Towers. It's one of the cards from the fucking reading. Can Kira use monster empathy on this thing?
Depends.
So when you try to work out what a supernatural creature desires, roll plus charm. And you can ask a couple of questions.
Okay, roll plus charm.
8.
Ask one question.
Maybe what would distract it?
Very little. I think that the way I'm choosing to answer that question is that it is singularly focused on you, Kira Ashwood.
On me. Okay. I think Kira will be like, it wants me.
And yeah, she's looking down at you, her faded yellowish gold metallic face and her empty dead black eyes are looking straight at you.
Okay, then I think Kira's gonna look at Donovan and will be like, follow my lead. And then she's gonna say to Theo, drop it. And as soon as Theo drops it, Kira's gonna start tearing through this forest to try to have this thing follow her.
Okay.
Theo, roll act under pressure.
9.
The thing goes away on its own, and she slashes at you, Kira. Roll act under pressure.
Oh, that's a 14 advanced move.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Well, then that goes really fucking well. What do you have for a weapon right now, Kira?
I have my axe, and I also have my hands that are life draining.
She comes down at you with a sword. You go to like parry it away and actually wind up taking her hand off at the wrist.
Cool. Well, then I think if I know that she's kind of solely focused on me, then I would kind of try to draw her focus and have her try to follow after me and start running through these woods.
Theo's like just gonna look at the rest of the group. Should we follow her?
I've got her, Donovan. And Donovan's on me.
Mm-hmm. After Kira and Donovan run into I'm assuming sort of to the 3 o'clock side of this clearing, the rest of you see this young woman reach off and seem to pull something from nowhere, and she has a new hand and a new blade. And with these two blades, she runs off into the kelp forest after you. Ruby will dive in after her dog.
So that leaves Anna, Mark, and Theo and Lowry?
Yes.
Kira's intent is to run, have this thing following her, and as soon as she can maybe lose her around a corner, I think she's going to take to the air, and she's going to be kind of yelling at Donovan to do the same thing and be like, as soon as we get a moment, get into the air, we're going to fucking dive bomb her.
All right, Kira, roll act under pressure.
That's a 10 to roll to act under pressure.
Okay. And then Mark, Theo, and Anna, what are you guys doing with Lowry?
Anna is kind of keeping an eye on the advancing, stampeding horde is still advancing on them or not. I think she's maybe posted with her shotgun.
Yeah, I was gonna say Mark is probably doing the same thing, keep an eye on everybody.
Because they're still juiced up with their grenades and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
can we see them from where we are?
No, absolutely not. You guys can't. There's basically a circular wall of these sort of kelp stalks in all directions.
Okay.
Did we get a look at what is following us? Do I know what they look like?
No.
Okay.
You ran.
Okay, I think that Theo in one hand has her wooden staff and in the other has the plant life pod thingies, and I think she's gonna open up her third eye and read a bad situation.
Oh, yeah. Do that.
That's gonna be an 8. So 2 questions. Can I tell what else is out there or how many are out there?
Here's what I will tell you. Those who are still coming for you from where you ran into this kelp forest, there are 4. And I think what you can see is skeletal but still hefty. I think screw it, it's third eye. Sort of at first glance they appear to be muscular, but you can pretty clearly tell that it is bone and cartilage. And they all have sort of sticking out of the base of the back of their neck what is pretty clearly like a dorsal fin.
Okay.
Like a dolphin, right? That's what a dorsal fin is.
Yeah, but meaner.
But mean, like a shark.
Like a shark.
Yes, like a shark.
My last question, what's the best way to defend ourselves?
Oh, I'm not done.
Oh.
So the other things that you can tell are out there are chasing after Kira and Donovan is the woman that you saw climb up the thing, and then out to the other edge of this wilderness, facing off against Ruby and this masked dog, sort of similarly dressed young woman, but she has 4 arms and a sword in each of them.
Okay. Anything else out there?
Not yet.
Cool. What's the best way to defend ourselves?
Against what?
Against the incoming.
The Sharkmen?
I guess I'm wondering, would it be helpful to fight with fire? Would it be helpful to hide ourselves?
Best way to defend yourselves from them is to lose them.
Have we lost them? Are they are they searching for us right now?
I think best you can tell they're coming towards the edge of the forest.
Towards us?
Can I control the light orb that I have to distract them?
As a matter of fact, you can.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna try, and I'll roll for this, but I think what I'm gonna try to do is have this orb shoot some little fireballs at them just to get their attention, and then kind of scurry off along the side of the forest and kind of back, and as it disappears, or as it goes off into the distance, it would just kind of dissipate,
making it seem like it's joining with us or something.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
Okay, so the control of it and the getting it to do that, you can just do because of how dope your roll was from before, but the outcome will depend on an act under pressure roll.
I just rolled double 6s.
Hey!
Nice.
Beautiful.
Ooh.
Don't forget, because we forget about this all the time, but if you act on any of the answers of read a bad situation, you get a +1 ongoing while the information is relevant. So technically you would get a +1 to that roll, right? Right?
15 advanced move.
This would be a little aside in the TV show, where Mark throws out a hand. This little fireball that's been kind of following you around will look and then look back at Mark and then nod and then go shooting through and dodge through all this dead leaves, basically, not touching a single one, and then bust out and then see just like the sand that's being kicked up, and then look in and focus on these. I think I said there were 3 of these guys just running, just slamming down. And then it like lights up and shakes and kind of runs towards them a little bit and then goes up and starts shooting.
It's like a little fire imp.
Yeah, like when planes are doing that thing to get heat-seeking missiles off of them, they just kind of launch little. Yeah, it's a bunch of those things, and it hits some of them and like burns a bit of their soft bone, and they all become furious. And then the thing shoots off to the right into the empty nothing. And these things stop, spin, and chase it.
So, Jonny, can you clarify something? The woman who was chasing after Kira, how many hands did she have? Just 2 hands? But they're growing back?
You cut one off and it grew back. Yeah.
Okay. And then the other one that the dog and Ruby are fighting is 4?
Swords in each one.
Okay.
And you and Donovan, Kira, got off and into a spot where you believe that she's lost track of you just enough and shoot straight up.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the roll to do that. I think you have a general idea of where she still is rushing through this wilderness after you. But to do anything after this will require some rolls to follow up with what I've heard your plan is.
Yeah, I think is like as soon as like I kind of see her like her emerge from the path that where she was following us, I think the plan is to maybe I think Kira would maybe actually give Donovan her axe and would say, I'll keep her still. And then I think she's going to try to use her life drain to like immobilize her, which she's done before, to like hold them in place and then have Donovan swing away.
Okay, roll kick some ass.
That is an 11.
So you reach down with your sort of life drain tendrils, but you don't catch anything.
There's nothing there.
There's nothing alive there.
Then I think in that case, she's going to kind of just shake her head at Donovan, and then she'll just try to dive bomb, I think, and we'll try to pin her to the ground for Donovan to maybe hack at her head.
Okay. That'll be another kick some ass roll.
That's a 10.
Okay. And can I presume that your bonus will be to force them where you want them?
Yes, I would like to pin her to the ground.
Okay. So as you like sort of break through the cover of this, she spins on you immediately and will slash at you with both swords.
Okay. How much harm?
6.
Minus my armor?
Yep.
That's a lot.
It's 4 harm.
Slash, but then you hook one of her arms at the armpit underneath after she's sort of committed herself to the slash, and then, maneuver yourself behind her to grab the other one, kick out her feet from under her, and you have her held.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I have her like basically just ready for Donovan, and I say, take it off.
Take what off?
Her head.
Her head?
Yes.
Okay. He does.
Okay.
He like brings up the axe, brings it down, and it is like he has popped the head off of a doll. And it like bounces and rolls. She does not stop struggling.
Okay.
Roll act under pressure, Kara.
13 advanced move.
Okay. You managed to keep her still.
How do I kill her? Can I like figure that out by like struggling with her?
I want to jump back to Mark and Theo.
Well, I think we lost him.
And Anna, actually, because Anna roll act under pressure.
Uh-oh.
13 advanced.
Okay. Theo, to the extent that you can see this thing that's gone off, that the dog has gone off after, you can see the dog sort of leaping at it. Ruby using some kind of sharp offensive / defensive magic to deflect and try to, she's like sword fighting with her hands is what it sort of seems like to you. And this 4-armed thing that they are fighting with is positively dancing, like fighting expertly. And at one point it like does an odd sort of pirouette that wouldn't seem to make much sense given the 2 things she's fighting against. But then you see one of her arms come loose and get thrown back towards the clearing. And I think that because of that roll, Theo either gasps or shouts, "Look out."
Anna, watch out.
And then Anna, you can see a sword attached to an arm coming straight towards you. And you can do whatever you want against or around it.
Yeah, I think she'll just dive out of the way.
The blade will bury itself into the other end of this clearing. Lowry will go over to it, disconnect the hand from the blade, and then hold out the blade hilt first towards you if you want it.
Yeah, Anna will take it. The fuck are these things? How do we kill them?
I'm not sure.
It's a black-bladed, like, straight-up broadsword.
Is there any way I could, like, investigate this arm some more?
Sure. Lowry's going to want to keep it and heft it like a club, but you can take a look. Yeah, Theo, roll investigate a mystery.
Can I? And I think Anna actually is going to take the arm and do something with it. Or, sorry, the sword and do something with it.
Okay.
I rolled an 11.
Okay. You can ask your 2 questions.
What sort of creature is this?
A construct. A sort of mystic marionette.
What can hurt it?
The way it pleases me to answer this question is that, as a corollary from your previous one, it is a construct created with a given target in mind, by which I mean it is designed to strike at their weaknesses and defend against their attacks specifically. And the between the lines that I want you to get from that is that it is not designed to defend against anyone other than the person it was built for.
Okay.
So literally anybody else could attack it. Great. I'm glad Clara went off by herself with Donovan.
So I think that Theo is going to say, these are just constructs. And the best way to hurt them is those who are not their target to go after them. So Kira fighting that woman is not the right target. Somebody's got to go after her, and we've got to help Ruby. And yeah.
Can Mark teleport instantly to Kira? Or try to? Or no?
I'm going to make you roll use magic.
10.
Okay. Yep. You are right by Kira, who has this first young woman construct thing, but now it doesn't have a head, but she's got it pinned by both of its arms.
Can I try to take my fiery blade just out of instinct and try to rip a hole in this thing?
I'm going to have you roll kick some ass, but I'm going to have you add 1.
14 advance move.
Shit.
So yeah, Mark, you take your flaming sword out, you put a hole in this thing, out of which will tumble another metallic hand and another entire sword. And its other 2 arms will sort of go limp, but it doesn't seem to stop moving quite yet.
I think Kira is like spilling blood everywhere.
But I do think with that roll, here's what is going to happen in addition.
I was going to say, can I use like lay on hands at the same time or something like that to like...
Just wait, because Donovan is going to go over and take his long thin blade and then sort of wedge it in between one of the wrists and hands and pop out this thing's right hand and sword. And then basically do the same with Kira's axe on the other hand. And that will stop it.
It is no longer,
no longer
weapons.
Moving.
Oh, no, not moving. Okay. I think Kira gets up from the ground, kind of just like tosses down at the ground. And she's like kind of wobbly.
Are you okay?
Yeah, and there is blood running down the front of your shirt and pants.
Yeah, fine. Oh, I think she kind of collapses into you, Mark. She's at 5 harm. She's unstable.
Yeah, I think Mark's going to try and use lay on hands to like heal her up a little bit. Your touch can heal injury and disease. When you lay your hands on someone hurt, roll plus cool on a 10 plus heal 2 harm or an illness plus they're stabilized. On a 7 to 9, you can heal the harm or illness on a plus 10, but you take it into yourself. On a miss, your aura causes them extra harm. Oh boy.
Roll plus cool.
Not great.
Mark, how cool are you?
Oh, Mark.
If I burn a luck point, then no,
No.
she's not going to die.
No.
Knock on wood, 6.
What does that mean for lay on hands?
Don't worry, I'll help you.
Mark, did you have any harm?
I had 3 harm before, so I'm not doing as hot either.
Mark.
Did you erase the 1 harm that we had gotten healed up from previously? From last session?
No, wait a minute. Sorry. My pencil eraser wasn't working, so I have a mark there for only 1, so.
Oh, yeah, because you healed up.
Well, I think it is important, actually. Did you have 1 harm left or not?
I think he had the 1 harm, and then he had that spell done by Ramsey Lincoln, because Theo healed him, I think, after that fight. Or you healed yourself. You healed yourself after the fight. You healed yourself after the fight, which healed you up to 1 harm, and then he got his wrist fixed back at the Clockwork Child, and I assume would have healed up the rest of the way, but I don't think we ever...
No.
It just
I don't
fixed the
think
bone?
so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a broken bone that needed to be speed healed, but you still had the 1 harm. But you don't anymore, Mark, Because Kira does. Kira, you take 1 harm. Mark, you have no harm.
What? What?
You have passed along your injury to your friend Kira.
Yikes.
No.
Kira is like, throws up.
Yep, Donovan is going to run up and put a hand on your chest, Mark, and shove you away from her.
Wee.
I think Kira's just like, get me to Anna.
Speaking of Anna and Lowry and Theo,
Speaking of Anna,
I think Theo's, I guess, going to run to Ruby with her staff and this ball of plant life. And Theo's going to chuck this ball at this person as well as swing her staff at their head.
roll act under pressure to do the first thing.
11.
So you ran in, you threw this little glass ball at this thing, who I think would maybe have seen it coming and like sort of gone to slash it out of the air. But all that would have done would be to splash it with whatever was inside, which then immediately would begin knitting roots into the thing and reaching down towards the ground and then blooming little flowers. So functionally, when this thing is done, this thing will be rooted to the floor and unable to move. Theo has another thing that she's doing. She's going to try to run at this thing with her staff, so roll kick some ass.
7.
Okay.
If it helps, this wood is old wood that's supposed to be more harmful to people in there.
Yeah, I know. What's it do for damage?
I have no clue. I don't have that information.
Okay.
If it helps, Anna's staff does 3 harm.
That makes sense. Okay. So I think you like knock this thing in the face and basically break off its right cheek and lower jaw. And you can see that it's basically hollow inside. But then it will sort of slash at you with a couple of its swords and you will take 4 harm.
Oh, okay.
Can Anna actually cast Watch Out, which is one of her moves to protect Theo? It's from the Apprentice.
Yeah. Is that a roll?
Yeah, you can raise the shield to protect someone from harm. Roll plus weird. On a 10 plus, the harm is reduced by 2.
Roll plus weird.
That's 12. So that 4 becomes 2. So whatever.
And then minus if you have any armor.
So I have 1 armor, so...
So in the end, you take 1 harm. She seemed to totally miss you, which seems odd.
I do think Anna like sees it coming and she's like, Theo, watch out! She like shoots a little shield.
Ah!
And then I think Anna might actually, because of her connection with Kira, I think she might be like, something's wrong. And yeah.
And
And-
turn away.
And it should be, and then I think she's going to turn to Lowry and be like, help Theo, please. And then she's going to run in the direction that Kira went.
Okay. So Theo, as you are sort of disengaging yourself from this thing, from behind you will leap Lowry with an odd sort of segmented club.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's just going to kind of dive in. And I think basically all his deal is going to do at this point, he will take a couple of cuts. Yeah, that will give the face dog time to bite one of the remaining left arm, which will give Ruby the chance to like grab it by the sort of upper arm and push with this odd magical force, cracking it away from her body. So the dog runs off with another one of this thing's arms.
Is it still moving?
Yes, and it's got 2 of the like
2 left.
1 lower arm, 1 upper arm.
Okay. I'm just gonna hit it again.
Okay.
Just gonna try and like stab at one of these like arm joints and yep. 10.
Do more harm, take less harm, force it where you want it, or take or give the advantage.
Yeah, I'll take 1 less harm.
Okay, so I think that what that's going to kind of functionally mean is that you are going to sort of dive into the fray with this thing and basically just successfully deflect all of its attacks and crack off a little bit of the sort of plating around one of its shoulders. You aren't able to remove an arm or anything, but between your armor and that sort of fighting defensively, you don't take any harm.
What's the like video game or maybe movie or TV show I'm thinking of where someone gets like hit and it's just like light? Because like so Theo's armor is an enchanted clothing, so I imagine whenever she gets hit on her torso, it's just like, like, you know what I'm talking about?
Like Tron?
I don't know. It's just in my head that I'm imagining like it's an invisible force field, and when someone hits it, it's just like
Or
a wave.
Dune.
I don't know. I've not seen either of these things, so
Well, you asked what the movie was. That's the movie.
Well, I can see that. Like a basic, kind of like just a lens flare for a second.
Yeah. So did I take any harm? 1 harm?
No, it would be 2, but you reduced it by 1 and then you have 1 armor.
Is this thing immobilized now, or is it...
No, still has 2 arms.
Can Lowry try to go after one of them? Try to disable one of them?
I think that actually makes a ton of sense. And I think Theo, in this case, I'm going to have you roll kick some ass on his behalf.
Okay. Do you want me to use my tough or like my whole deal?
What's your whole deal?
So if I do kick some ass, I roll cool instead of tough.
Yeah, but that's you. Roll with tough.
I don't want to roll with tough.
You should have John roll.
Yeah, so John and Lowry are brothers.
Mark, would you roll kick some ass for me, please?
Sure. 9.
Okay, so here's what's going to happen. You have her pretty well distracted with your fighting her with your staff. He will come up behind and rear back with the club/arm over his head and bring down shoulder against shoulder, cracking the joint. It won't sever completely, but it will drop uselessly to one side and kind of just be like a dislocated shoulder. But then she'll disengage from you and spin on him and slash him brutally across the chest that will send him flying back into the kelp stalks, and you won't see where he lands.
Would I be able to protect him or no?
You could roll protect someone.
Yeah, I'd like to roll protect someone. Fuck. Okay. Shit.
It's also plus tough. Are you sure you want to do that?
Yeah, I do. It's Mark's brother. Fuck me. Shit.
You rolled a 15, right?
That's a 6.
Wait. Do you get +1 ongoing because of your read a bad situation roll?
Were you acting on something?
Yeah, the knowledge that they don't really defend from attacks other than their target.
I mean, that's why I went after the one who's fighting against Ruby.
I'll rules lawyer.
You can say no, Johnny.
Yeah, you can't say no, but don't.
Okay. So you will sort of roll with her and keep yourself, think specifically your back between her and him, and you'll feel a horrible slash against it, and it will be 2 harm, reduced by 1 by your armor.
So you're saying that like my back is against her chest or against her back?
You basically sort of roll with her such that you basically grab Lowry and wrap your arms around him, and so your back is to her.
Okay.
Does she still have 2 arms?
Technically, one of them doesn't seem to be movable. Mark, what are you doing?
Holding Kira. Or trying to help, but Donovan pushed you away.
I was going to say, I got pushed away, and I'm just sitting there, like, reflecting. I was like, stupid. How the fuck could you do this? Stupid. Stupid. Fuck.
Buddy. I imagine, like, Donovan is, like, carrying Kira.
Hey, don't beat yourself up about it, man.
No, I fucked up. God damn it.
You know how much fucked up stuff I've done in my time?
I almost killed my friend, man.
You just gotta get up, smoke up, and keep on going.
Not right now, talkers. I need a moment.
Do you need a moment, or do you need, like, a moment? Roll manipulate someone to get doctors to leave you alone.
9.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna leave this right here. And then on a little sort of pedestal ashtray in the clearing within your mind, there is an exquisitely rolled, very thick blunt, which does remind you, this is not the first time in the last several hours that you have seen a blunt of this kind.
Is it not like ones that I've seen before that he's provided?
I just mean, Theo had been rolling some blunts.
She'd made some
Pretty recently. Some healing blunts.
Oh yeah! It was like a blunt, and like, wasn't there also protection?
Did she give him to all of us? Like one for everyone? I can't remember.
I thought she just made them. I think you just have them, Theo.
I would have given them to Kira because I was high when I was making them.
Then Mark, I think at this moment you remember that, and you remember that she has them.
Who is like basically dead in Donovan's arms.
Kira, Donovan, hold on a minute.
You've done enough.
Just 2 seconds. Mark goes into her jacket pocket and tries to find this thing.
Elect under pressure.
11.
All right. You pull one out.
Here, she needs this. It's a healing blunt. You can ask questions later. Just give it to her.
I assume Mark, like, lights it with his finger.
Or his eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly think he, like, slowly, like, puts it in your mouth and just, like, fries it with his eyes or something like that. Or even just, like, it just appears on the end of it.
Lighting a blunt, I'm not going to make you roll for.
I was going to say, that's a pretty mundane trick.
Kara will be like, what the fuck? And then she's like, all right. And she'll fucking start smoking this blunt.
Theo, what happens when someone smokes this healing blunt?
Honestly, I think that this is gonna sound really bad, but it's almost like an icy hot. Like it's kind of warm and soothing. I feel like when you like inhale it, it's kind of like drinking a nice like lemon honey cup of tea. And then, like, in the areas that you're maybe,
Have
like...
you used Icy Hot?
Shut up. I don't know. I'm just fucking improving what it means. So I just Pinterest the ingredients for this blunt, but it's just pleasant.
It's like somebody just put a menthol lozenge down my throat.
I don't know. I mean, I just imagine, like, it... feeling warm and soothing and comforting when you're first inhaling it, and then as it courses through your body, I don't know, like a cool breeze when you're laying on some cool grass.
Okay, Icy Hot in reverse then.
Hot icy. TM.
That's awesome.
Let's get it on a shirt.
And the H's in the hot are 2 blunts.
If I may, burn freeze. So, because I feel like I had you roll initially for this when you were doing it, Theo, unless I'm high. So whatever they would have done will just happen.
How much harm do I heal?
I think 3.
Actually, it's 4 because Kira is resilient.
Well, congratulations.
Hey, I need all the healing I could get. I was at 6 harm there. I do think she's still like bleeding pretty bad though, and probably needs to get some like bandages.
Yeah, it doesn't stabilize you, but it does heal 3 harm.
Band-aids. Bandages.
I need some band-aids.
While you are down and smoking this, Anna arrives. Meanwhile, Theo,
Yes.
you just took a pretty bad slash to the back, didn't you?
Sure. Being that Theo is face to face with Lowry and there's this thing behind her.
With an amped up and kind of confused Lowry.
Yeah, I think Theo's going to say, not a great homecoming, huh? I really thought that the coachman would be the first one we'd see, but just hang on. And Theo's going to like let go of Lowry, reach back behind her and like kind of like grab the hips of like this thing and just light her up with Theo's lightning magic.
Roll it.
14 advance move.
Was that your combat magic or was that like one of your rotes?
That was my combat magic.
Yeah, your lightning will bleed out of your hands and reach out to grasp her. Yeah, she will like go rigid. Even the useless upper arm will like stick out straight. Both remaining arms will go completely rigid and straight out in the sort of amputee Vitruvian man pose. And she will drop both swords.
Is she done? Is she not moving anymore?
Well, she's sort of standing and still letting this lightning course through her. That remains to be seen. What do you do in the meantime?
If she's still standing, I'd like to use some more magic.
Okay, be more specific.
I'd like to do one thing beyond human limitations.
For example,
Punch this person's head off.
roll use magic.
14. Also, advanced move.
All right, you rear back. You do that. Your fist goes at her head and then through where it was, the head bounces away. And then I think while you are doing that, Lowry kicks one of the swords away and the dog grabs one of the other swords that has dropped and runs back into the clearing with it. While the lightning is sort of coursing through this thing, Ruby will infuse that lightning with something else. And then the remaining parts of this construct's body will like crumple in. The leg will like break and dislocate and then shove itself up into her abdomen. And then every single one, both of her remaining limbs, the shoulders will all just sort of be crumpled into this small metallic ball that will drop harmlessly onto the stony sand floor.
Is there anything connecting this construct to the, I guess, puppet master? Is there like...
Do you want to open your third eye, Theo?
I mean, which would be more, I guess, would that be the most useful thing, or would investigate a mystery be? Because I'm wondering, like, is there, like, you know, a person's blood or a person's, like, an object that's in it to connect it to the original caster? Does that make sense?
Like almost like a voodoo doll, like if there's something connecting it.
Yeah, or like
how there were the masks for the other creatures.
How there's the masks, how like for the elemental creatures there were the slivers, and then there was like the other thing.
You roll what you like. I can't tell you what would be most useful.
Yeah, I'll do the third eye. 9.
Okay, ask your 2 questions.
Well, 1, do I see anything invisible?
The only invisible thing that you see is that sort of inscribed into this thing in a language that is not language is Anna Ashwood's name. It was carved in physically and then carved in ethereally.
So was that was the 4 of swords? And then what was the one attacking Kira? Was that the 5 of swords then?
Would you tell me, like, what the process is, like, to create one of these things? Or, like, how one of these things are created?
To the extent that I will tell you that, I will tell you that it wasn't made on Earth. It was created in and composed of elements from there.
Is there a way to disrupt its, like, targeting system besides, like, dismantling it?
You would need more data. You wouldn't be able to figure that out from just this one, or maybe even just the other one.
Okay. I don't know if you would give me the answer to this question, but I'm wondering, would Theo know anything more about, like, the magic that uses a person's name? Like, is this just using a person's name?
How do you mean?
Well, so you said that this thing had Anna Ashwood's name in it. Does Theo know more about, like, naming magic?
So she does.
Like, part of me is kind of wondering if I'd be able to use the things I've seen move, that when I encounter a creature or phenomenon, I can declare that I have seen it before.
Use that move.
Okay. The keeper will then proceed to ask me some questions about the encounter and will then tell me one useful fact I have learned and one danger I will need to watch out for. Parentheses, maybe for now. Right now.
So, Theo, you haven't really been, as I understand it, you haven't been sort of doing your magical classes, so to speak, for quite some time.
I've been busy.
Right. But I mean, even before that, when precisely did you decide to sort of break off?
Yeah, it was when Selena was alive. And then I think Theo got real into it, trying to find answers. And then stuff happened. And then Theo's been lost ever since.
Here's what you know about name magic. Technically, it derives from a, like, sort of former world where a person's true name would be kept hidden from everyone else in their lives. But I think that everything that you know about name magic doesn't exactly apply here because, as I sort of intimated, it wasn't her name that was written so much as it was kind of her essence or identity. Somehow this is a version of name magic that could even be done without actually knowing the person's name. Whoever this is able to fill in blanks sort of backwards. You know who it is.
Are you able to tell me, like, one danger I need to watch out for?
There was one for you.
There was one for me? Like, it's not there anymore? I don't need to worry about it anymore? Like, we're fine?
There was a tarot card for you.
I wouldn't have mentioned it if it was done.
There's a tarot card for you and Mark still. And a third one, I guess?
Okay. I want to ask one last question, and then I want to regroup with the rest. Is it possible for me to bar a construct from myself? I'm kind of, like, leaning into the bar, place, or portal to a specific person or type of creature magic.
There's also something that Anna might be able to do to help protect either you or Mark.
Okay, I just wanted to ask.
Okay, so you guys are all regrouping back in your clear.
Yeah, I think Theo will turn to Lowry and Ruby. We need to get to Mark and everybody else. There's going to be another one, maybe 2, coming still.
Point of information, is this healing blunt just healing? It's not going to make me, like, act high?
No.
Okay.
There's no actual drugs in it. She just put it in a blunt for reasons that escape logic.
Because I think that would annoy Kira if that were the case.
I wanted a different way to administer it.
Oh, you were just stoned.
Hello, listeners, and welcome to the intermission of episode 15. There's been a lot going on inside and outside of the podcast.
What? Really?
Isn't that right, Lauren?
No.
Yeah, just a little bit. But in podcast news, Lauren, I hear you have a couple of announcements, and I've got a couple of reminders that we got to tell our listeners.
That is right. We are back to our regular schedule, so that means that the next episode of the cover story will drop in 2 weeks from now on October 24th. And then our next episode is also the final episode of our current arc and what we consider to be the conclusion of Act 1 of Season 3. So that means that we've got a bonus covering the story episode that will be coming your way this Halloween. So we're going to talk about the story so far and check in with each of our characters and see how things are going.
Do you think, is it going to be a trick or a treat?
Little column A, little column B, we'll find out.
Yeah, if Johnny's involved, it's probably mostly trick.
But that's it for the announcements. So let's go over some reminders before we get back to the episode.
Yeah, we would greatly appreciate if you could leave us a rating and review. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever your listening platform of choice. Telling your friends would be really great. Word of mouth is the best way to get our show noticed and to get new friends. So if you could tell your friends, tell your family, tell your coworkers, whoever you think might be interested in our wacky, scary, silly story. That would be wonderful. You can follow us on social media, on Twitter at Monster Playbook, and on Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, and Blue Sky, whatever the hell that is, at Monsters Playbook. We also have a Discord and would love for you to join us. And if you are able to support us monetarily, you can subscribe to our Patreon. We have a merch store. We also have a Ko-fi page. Links to all of these things and more can be found in our Direct Me profile in this episode's show notes.
Our promo for this week is for the Thorn Files podcast, a fellow Monster of the Week podcast that just launched earlier this year.
Woo.
And they detail the exploits and mysteries explored by agents of Thorn Investigations, a paranormal investigations agency in a post-war 1952 Britain. The podcast is a character-driven tale filled with psychological horrors and terrifying monsters, both of the old world and the new. Let's take a listen.
Hello, this is Annabelle Thorne, current head of Thorne Investigations, a paranormal investigations company set up in Edinburgh. I'm here to tell you today that monsters are real, and have been real for centuries, only they've been hiding. We don't understand why they're coming into the light now, but if you see anything, if you hear anything that makes you think you're in contact with one, tell us. We can help. I have a few agents in the field just now, Evangeline Lane Fox, Peter Anderson, Vera Bright, and, for better or worse, my niece, Tabitha. Don't hesitate to tell us. If you do, you might not get another chance.
The Thorn Files podcast is a Monster of the Week actual play podcast coming out every other Friday starting on the 31st of March with the first 2 episodes. If you're a fan of horror, mysteries, or shenanigans, why don't you come give us a listen at Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and pretty much everywhere else you can get podcasts. Be ready to be scared.
Okay, that sounds really sick. I wanna check these out.
I know, I'm like, this sounds like right up Miah's alley.
If you want to find out more about Thorn Files, you can follow them on Twitter at Thorn Files Pod. That's Thorn with an E, Files Pod, or wherever you get your podcasts. And with that, let's go get high and get back to the episode.
I imagine maybe Anna's wearing like a flannel or something.
Sounds right.
And she's going to start ripping it, and I think kind of into strips so that she can kind of use it as like makeshift bandage to help stop the bleeding around Kira's torso.
And a roll plus cool.
10.
Okay. She is stabilized.
All right. And then I think she sees you, the rest of you 3 coming back, and she'll be like, is that other one taken out?
Yeah, there's probably at least One more coming, probably two.
At least two. That she saw all of us coming in those tarot cards. If I'm remembering correctly, she pulls out the fucking tarot guide that she has with the notes in the margin. There was a card for like the 4 of Cups, I think.
Here's what I want you to do. I want you to roll Investigate a Mystery.
For Anna.
Yep.
8.
Okay. So I can tell you precisely, 1, who it's after. That the cards were Page of Wands, Knight of Cups, 4 of Cups, 9 of Swords.
Yep.
For one of those, I can tell you precisely who it matched to.
I mean, I know who I want you to ask.
Who?
I want to know about Mark.
That's not the way it works.
We have to ask about a specific card.
Ask the card, I'll tell you who the person is.
So are there any that we think we know for sure? Because there's the Page of Wands, is lack of direction, procrastination, creating conflict. That one, I think, also had the drawing of...
The other thing that I will give you all the information that you have. The Page of Wands, which was reversed,
Yep.
had an owl on a Post-it note next to it.
Yep. The Knight of Cups had some of the names scratched out of Maggio families. So that's probably Theo, I would think. But it sounds like her too. Heart, idealist, romantic. That sounds like Theo. And then the 4 of Cups, sudden awareness, choosing happiness and acceptance. And I think the 9 of Swords, because that was the one that said 2 of them, and then it said 4 plus 5. And I think those were the 2 that we just dealt with. I think it was the 4 of Swords and the 5 of Swords for Anna and Kira, respectively.
Yeah.
So I think I would say maybe the 4 of Cups. I don't know, but then that says Flame Flight Fealty. What do you think, Mark? Which one?
The acceptance one.
4 of Cups. Who is that one?
That's Mark.
Okay. So that would be Mark. The Knight of Cups is probably Theo. And then the other one, is that about Lowry then? If it has the owl on it?
Oh.
Mark is all healed up and fine.
Mm-hmm.
How is Kira? Do you have any harm?
She has 2 harm. I was thinking that Anna might offer to do the heart glow spell, or we could all just smoke.
So Theo's gonna look to Anna. My resources are kind of limited, and I know that you have a way of protecting people. Maybe if there's like a way you can protect Mark or I or...
Yeah, I have a couple of ideas. Let's see here. So Anna's got a couple of abjuration effects, and I'm thinking she could maybe do one to prevent somebody from being tracked by magical means. So that might buy us some time for being like chased down. She could maybe enchant like somebody's like weapon to do extra harm against these creatures and like a specific effect against them. That could be something. Or you could like take the next attack that you take would reduce it to 0 harm. Those are kind of the 3 I'm eyeing up.
I'm kind of thinking like maybe it'd be useful to give like yourself or Kira or maybe Lowry some sort of weapon that you could hit harder, because if you give it to me or Mark, like what if we encounter one of our...
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, I definitely want to shield Mark. Can I do that?
Yeah.
Okay. She will do that abjuration effect, so at least it'll hopefully buy us some time, Mark, until we can, for whatever card is attached to you, to follow you down.
Mm-hmm.
So Anna will spend some time doing that.
Okay.
You said Kira has 2 harm?
Yeah.
Okay. Theo also has 2 harm. I'm kind of sort of wondering if Mark could heal Theo and Theo could heal Kira.
Mark goes, "No, I got this."
Oh my God. Don't forget, we also have those joints that you made. Sorry, blunts.
Let's just do that. Those seem less consequential.
I just rolled a 12, so I don't know what you're worried about.
Yeah. Theo, you will feel some hands on your shoulders.
I got you.
Cute. Can a retcon do your hands on the shoulder can be like a hug from behind?
That's up to Mark.
You told Theo
Mark,
that you loved her
roll
2
plus
episodes
charm.
ago. Dumbass.
10.
Okay. Yes, Mark, you put your arms around Theo in a hug from behind. And Theo, you feel an intense healing aura, and you heal 2 harm.
Thanks, Mark.
No problem.
Can Anna do some magic?
Probably.
So I'm wondering if she could enchant her staff to do extra harm against these creatures. She has one of the effects of her staff of my foci for the apprentice is I get +1 when enchanting an item.
Okay, enchant that item.
11. Oh, wait, 12.
All right, dope. That just happens. So I think you want to do +1 damage or get a +1 like ongoing.
I think it's so you can do one of the effects I believe of use magic is that you can like enchant something to do more damage.
Okay, so it is damage. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Is Kira standing or on the ground?
She's probably on the ground, just collecting her breath after having gotten slashed up a bit.
Theo will sit next to you, cross-legged. So that wasn't the charming coachman. Do you want me to heal you up?
Yeah, I'll take anything. Maybe just I mean, not that one that does the scar, the other one maybe.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I could take any more pain right now.
Yeah, sure. I'm just gonna roll regular magic. 11.
Kira will heal 2 harm. Thank you, Theo.
I think like I don't know, it's like a hazy light, a lavender color, I think, floats from Theo's hand to like your chest. I also have an idea, but I kind of wanted to run it by you first.
What's up?
So, being that there's a couple of constructs after us, and that we're here to save Gad, and that we want to take down Tower and this new guy we're after, and that we're in there, I thought that maybe we can ask for some extra help.
From who?
From the Star King. He might know a bit about Tower since she was so obsessed with him and he was disgusted with her. I would figure that someone like him wouldn't want a zealot like her. But we're going after your person, so I wanted to ask your permission and I didn't want to upset you.
I'm hesitant to ask him for help, but on the other hand, he has pretty strong feelings about people being in the sea. See if he can offer us surveillance so that we know what we're walking into. That might be the best use that we would have of him. He claims to be very intelligent and sounds like he kind of has a little bit of a preoccupation with the future. Well, we could use a little help with that.
He isn't always forthcoming with what's to come, but I can try.
Yeah.
All right.
Could I... Is this a situation I could use monster empathy for? Like on the Grey Hand? Like of what I know about him through Theo and our informations? Like I'm wondering if like I could think of like what would really like speak to him that like Theo could like say to him that maybe would help him want to work with us. If that makes sense.
You know what? Sure.
Okay. 9. So I 1 hold. I think I want to know what would make more sense, like to get him to cooperate with us? What does he most desire, or what would accept as good enough? Maybe that one? What does it accept as good enough, like for now, to like work with us? Get eyes on what Tower's doing or something?
I think the place where your interests and his intersect is that there are multiple people alive in the sea.
Right. That's kind of what Kira was saying. Like,
Yeah.
He does not like people living in the sea. Okay.
And if you can offer him their eviction or
Death.
murder,
Yes. Then he will be more apt to help us. Okay.
yeah, that would be a deal. That would be a bargain that he would be willing to make.
All right. So then I think Kira will say to Theo, stress that we know that he does not want anybody living in the sea. The Sea King ended because of him. If we could ensure him that, we will bring Tower and anybody who is here out of this domain, that might bode well with him.
All right, that makes sense.
All right. Do you need anything?
Just keep an eye out if another one of those constructs show up. And I think Theo will close her eyes and look to the stars.
Kara might hold Theo's hand while she does that.
And Mark?
I think he looks up to see what you guys are looking at.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, just looking up doesn't give you anything. What do you want to say or do or etc.?
I think Mark sees them holding hands and Mark walks up and holds Theo's hand and then kind of looks at them and then looks up again.
I think Anna is kind of like confused, just like, what is going on?
Is this how people do?
I think she might actually wink at Lowry and be like, "You want to hold my hand?" Oh my god!
I think in response, Lowry will drop the arm club and pick up one of the black broadswords and start hefting it and seeing how it balanced.
Okay.
Basically, utterly ignoring you.
Yeah.
Do I get anything when I hold their hand?
No, nothing's happening.
Are you guys okay? What are you guys seeing?
Nothing yet. Just hold on.
Yeah, Mark, you look kind of up into the sky and you can see sort of at the corner of your eye, still the painted figure of Skull headed off in the same direction he had been. You vaguely presume that's what they're looking at.
I mean, he's getting farther away.
Theo's trying to contact someone.
Yeah, I'm trying to concentrate.
Oh, sorry. Yep.
It's fine. I don't know. I guess Theo's gonna try or pull at some of the magicka.
There's no magicka here.
Fuck, I forgot. King of Stars? Could use an audience. Maybe some help with the Sea Kingdom. I know that there's beings here, us included, that you don't want here. We could get rid of them for you. I know that nothing belongs in the sea. That's what you want, right? That's what you need.
Roll manipulate someone.
Can I roll help out since Kira had given her that advice?
Yes.
That's a 12 advanced move to help out.
So what does that mean for me?
Automatically a 12.
Okay, well, I rolled a 14.
Okay.
And that is my advanced move.
So for Theo and for anyone holding her hand, the sky suddenly basically explodes into nebulae in the sky. And one of them sort of pools into a spherical kind of helmet shape that cascades down, creating the shape of a fine suit in the torso. And then Theo, you hear, and everyone else hears sort of distant and tinny, I expect that you would take care of them for me. You are my prince, after all.
I guess I didn't get the memo till recently. Can you point me in the direction of where they are? Expedite the process?
You've already asked someone to point you in a direction. Do you no longer trust him?
We could use your help figuring out what's going on where they are. You could be our eyes.
Could I? What a privilege.
Well, considering that an imposter is here, vying to be your prince when she isn't, I would think you'd want her taken down.
Why do you think you are here?
So help us, and we'll help you.
Theo, roll manipulate someone.
7.
The helmet in the sky falls to look at you, Theora. Does this one speak for you now? Are you my prince or her general? Ask.
Can you help us?
To do what?
To find Gad?
No,
But why?
because I don't like being second chosen. You've already asked someone to help you find Gad.
It wasn't my place. Johnny, can I do something?
Probably.
I want Theo to kind of make this a private audience with the Star King.
All that will take is for you to take your hands away. You'll just drop hands with Mark and with Kira.
I think slowly Theo's going to pull her hands out of Mark and Kira's.
The sky goes black for you too.
What happened?
She wants to talk to him alone.
Son of a bitch.
It's up to her. She's got it.
What's there? What are we walking into? You can see it. You can see everything. You've seen everything.
Are you asking for a prophecy, little gray centaur?
I'm asking to see. Can you show me?
We shall see. Roll use magic to observe a time or place.
Oh, 7. Whew, that was close.
Pick a glitch.
Take 1 harm.
Those of you who are sitting and watching, Theo will notice a pretty steady stream of blood coming out of one of her nostrils.
Ooh, could it be coming from her gray eye?
You know what? Yup. She is crying tears of blood out of her dead gray eye.
Can Mark do lay on hands to try and stop it? I think this is the third time I've used it.
Yeah, you're 1 for 2. Why don't you go ahead and do that real quick? We'll resolve it in a second.
That's a 7.
Could be worse.
So that means that Theo heals, but he takes the harm.
Yep. Mark, you take 1 harm. Theo, you don't.
Okay.
Ow.
And Mark, instead of blood draining from your eye, you will get like full-on magma cracks in your skin. It'll like break open and start to flake off. Like your fire eyes are sort of going out of control just a little bit, and you take that 1 harm. Okay. So what were you trying to see?
Where Gad is, like, what's going on? What are we walking into? Tower. I have no idea who the fuck Oscar Hendrickson is as Theo.
So you sort of let your consciousness sort of flutter away from your body, and then you feel it sort of being scooped up and pulled, and then it is dragged generally in the direction that Skull has gone, with a couple of detours. It's hard to really place exactly where physically they are, but you are swished off in one direction, and you see hefty knight that seems to be armored in the same way as the skin of those 2 swordswomen. In its right hand, it holds a big, vicious-looking lance that ends in a sort of curved blade. And in its left hand, it is holding a sort of goblet, out of which is bubbling a sort of half-moon-shaped bubbles. Its helmet has been pounded to look as though it has a mustache and a sneer, and it has these metallic wings coming out of the top of it. You swoop off to the other side, and you see a sort of dead coral outcropping, leaning against which is a young man, also skin of gold, also eyes of black. Arrayed in front of him are 4 identical seeming goblets. And then further forward, back where Skull had taken you, you are brought through a cave. Inside the cave, the very first thing you see is a kind of flowing smoke from one thing into another. And as your quote-unquote eyes adjust to the darkness in here, you can see that they are floating from a young Indian man and into, it appears to be kind of just like a thick birch white walking stick that's kind of leaning against one of the cave walls. And it's just casually pulling this pale green smoke out of the young man. And then against one of the other walls, pretty frantically, there's this big hulking figure that has this sort of tattered robe over itself. And I say hulking, it's maybe 3 to 4 times the size of the young Indian man. And it is frantically trying to use a sort of ersatz kind of sling to retie an arm to its back. Then you hear the gray hand say in your mind, "Here is your boy. Hear his threat. Hear his sentinel. But who injured whom?"
Thank you. I promise to remove them from here.
Then don't thank me. Do that.
I will.
I know. Oh, there's one more thing I should tell you. I've shown you what you can see. There's one more thing that I can see. You will not all leave here alive.
Will you tell me who won't? Can I change that?
There are some things you can change and some things you cannot. The answer to your question? You can change. But what I have seen, I have seen. It's to you to decide what to do with it.
All right. Theo will blink and open her eyes.
Does my rash go away?
No. Why would it? The rest of you guys see Theo open her eyes and blink a couple of times, and you could kind of swear that for the first couple of blinks, they aren't eyes, like a lake reflecting the night sky. But then she opens her eyes and she's herself, as of course she always was.
What did he say?
He didn't say anything. He showed me. He showed me a hefty knight with a lance with a curved blade and goblet in the other hand. And I also saw another skin of gold person, but it was a man. He had 4 goblets in front of him. But he showed me Gad. He's in a cave, but somebody's watching him, and Gad doesn't look great. There's a gray walking stick that's pulling smoke from Gad, and there's this hulking figure that's watching him. I couldn't really determine if he looked hurt, but I don't know why and what from. It wasn't Tower. I didn't see her. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I assume it's the other cards.
Hopefully we can just avoid them. Get straight to Gad.
I'm worried that we're just walking into a trap. I mean, that's what she wanted to do. Tower wanted to lure you here to kill you, Theo. And we're playing right into their hands. We need to get those other 2 cards before they get back to that cave. We can't take on more than 2 at a time.
All right.
I think Kira looks to the rest of them. We need to head out. If there's anything you need to do before we leave, do it now. But we gotta move. While Theo, Kira, and Mark had kind of been doing that, could Anna flip through her book to see if there's maybe any spells that maybe would help find Tower or Oscar or somewhere in this place? She wants to try to see to pinpoint them down to know if they're hiding somewhere in here.
We'll investigate a mystery.
12.
Nice.
That's the best. I rolled a 6 and a 5.
So, good news, bad news. Oscar, because you know his name, you would be able to get a kind of a rudimentary beacon spell going.
We technically have his blood.
That's true. I think it would take the form of one of those things where you dangle something and it will swing in the direction that he is from you. Tower, if you had something of hers, then maybe.
The guidebook, maybe? Or the tarot cards?
Do you have the cards themselves? Because that book wasn't her book. That was his book. Vincent.
I don't think we had her cards. I think we took pictures of them. So probably not.
So yeah, you could find him pretty easily with that thing.
Yeah, I think Anna might try to be doing that spell really quickly before leaving to get a read on where he is.
Okay.
Does that use magic?
Yeah.
That is a 13.
All right. So yeah, you sort of wrap a bit of string around that bit of shell, and it sort of starts to swing at first randomly, and then it comes to rest basically in a vertical line between you and where you see Skull perched.
So in the same place as Gad, it appears. Okay. Mm-hmm. I think Kira is going to touch her earring that she has, which goes to Casey.
Mm-hmm.
Calling the director. Hello? Does this work?
We'll manipulate someone.
9?
Does Casey answer?
I think you hear quietly, hold on. And a minute or 2 passes, and it comes through a little bit more clear.
I think as waiting for this call, I think they're probably on their way towards the direction of Skull.
You're all headed out?
Yeah.
I think so, unless there's any other spells that you guys wanted to do before we leave or preparations.
Kira, can you hear me?
Yeah. Wow, this is pretty impressive.
Diego's been doing a great job.
Can you do me a favor? We're in the Dead Sea, trying to track down Tower and Oscar Henriksen. We know that Henriksen is here, but we can't get a bead on Tower. I just need you to confirm or deny that she is not topside.
Roll manipulate someone.
10.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, thanks. Is this 2-way? Can you get back to me?
Yeah.
All right. Let me know as soon as you hear something.
I will.
All right. I'll continue on.
Who's in the lead?
Probably Kira.
Okay. Kira, roll act under pressure. Because you are this is machete thick kelp forest.
And she's slashing at it with her axe. That is a 10.
Okay. You're slashing your way through and going past. I think...
Point of information. Theo is at the back, walking in a daze, she's there but not there.
Mm-hmm.
Noted.
Yeah, I think Mark is in front of her, and then he is also burning plants as she's cutting them.
I think maybe running alongside or even in front of you is the dog with the mask, who Ruby keeps calling Puppo.
Mm-hmm.
And then sort of giving you guys a wide sort of perimeter, the golem thing, and the chinchilla with the teeth faces riding on Ruby's shoulder.
Where's Lowry?
Anna is chatting him up.
Yeah.
Is it nice being out here again, even if it is the Sea Kingdom?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I'm just making conversation.
We're kind of all in the middle of something.
I know. But like, if we all die, like, nice to get to know you a little better.
Can you ask a less stupid question then?
What should I be asking?
I don't know. Usually when you're trying to get to know somebody, you don't ask like, do you like being alive? I mean, Jesus, have you ever talked to anybody before? Clouds and rain, girl, do you know how to do this?
I think Anna actually gets really quiet because there was 10 years where she wasn't talking to anyone. And then she'll just be like, I don't even know what to make of you. Sometimes you're really nice, and then other times you're just a fucking asshole. Are you sure you're Mark's brother?
Do you mean like, because I'm too much of an asshole or not enough of an asshole?
Yes, because you are an asshole. Where's the guy that helped me find Inako? Oh, Inako, I miss Inako. That's Lauren, not Anna.
Overshadowed by a fox. Big day, Lowry.
Okay, well, why did you decide to come to Earth if the fucking there is so great? You could have refused. You could have went back.
He will look meaningfully at Kira, nod towards her, and go, would you refuse?
I suppose not. What's your favorite color? I'm getting to know each other.
We'll manipulate someone.
12, advanced move.
Is it blue because of the sky?
I'm the fucking worst. Lowry will leap at you, Anna, and throw a hand over your mouth.
Oh.
And raise another hand, telling everyone to stop and stay quiet.
Oh my God, Hannah.
And at his insistence, the rest of you will hear the nearby casual clop of horse hooves.
I think Anna will push him off.
Unrelated, Kira.
Mm-hmm.
Casey gets back to you.
Kira?
Yeah, what's up?
No, she's not here.
You're positive?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thanks.
Yeah, listen, I gotta go.
Yeah, I'll see you later. Bye.
Be careful.
Okay, so we hear the distant sound of horse hooves.
Not distant.
Oh, they're approaching. Great.
Not approaching, just close.
Okay, can we try to sneak and avoid them? Because we're still in this little kelp forest thing, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you can't see whatever is making this noise, and presumably it can't see you.
Okay.
Are we able to disguise ourselves or
Oh, I'm desperate to know what you mean by that, Mark Clayton.
disguise ourselves is the wrong word. Camouflage.
Conceal ourselves.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, Anna had done a similar spell when they camouflaged the coach last time. She did an illusion spell. I'm wondering if she could do something to kind of help camouflage them, maybe?
She could try.
12.
Okay.
Yeah, she's going to pull out her spell book and flip to the page with the illusion spell on it. I forget if it had a specific name, but...
Oh, I'm sure it did.
Yeah, that was... I think you gave me the choice between 2 different spells. That was the one I did.
It is stupidly important to me.
To know what the spell was named?
Yes. There were 2, and the choices were one called Mist Me, that would create an expanding cloud of obscuring mist, and one that was called Second Hand, and it would create an illusory version of a 15-foot cube, but it would have to be bound to a ticking clock. So you could pretend that you guys were in a 15-foot cube and walking in one direction when in fact you were walking in another, or you could create an expanding cloud of obscuring mist and hope that you could walk through.
I was wondering, could I read a bad situation first?
Yes, obviously.
10.
Are you opening your third eye?
No. Can I tell who it is? I'm kind of wondering if it is the charming coachman, because you did say hooves.
I did say hooves, and with your listening and with that roll, there's also the clank of metal as though of armor. It is not the charming coachman.
I was going to say the mist might draw their attention versus something that is a little bit more blending into the natural environment.
Although we are in the sea kingdom, mist is not unheard of here.
The intention behind Second Hand is that you are basically creating an illusory version of yourselves to draw attention elsewhere. That's how you used it last time, and that's how its intent is.
It's like a diversion.
Yeah,
Okay.
you would have to roll real well to do what you were positing.
Okay, I see.
Theora.
What's the best way out?
To get as far away from this thing as possible, I think the best way out is in precisely the opposite direction from where you hear this thing. Get away. Functionally, physically, make a hard left turn and sneak, sneak, sneak. Question 3.
I'm going to do what's most vulnerable to me.
Well, it's not the night, I can tell you that. The thing that you can hear is not vulnerable to you.
Because you're the knight.
So what's the move, team?
I think the mist, because I wouldn't want them to associate us being there, because like they may start investigating versus bypassing it.
Yeah. I think let's try to do the mist. And I mean, I'm hoping we're in the Sea Kingdom. I'm hoping it's not unheard of to have mist in here.
And a roll use magic.
11.
So you sort of do some whispered business and you sort of take out some components from your Clockwork Child branded fanny pack, crush them together, and they start to ooze out like there's a humidifier fixed in space. And it just starts to drop this fog that builds and grows and then starts to rise up and then starts to go off in all directions.
You get a thumbs up from Theo.
Assuming Kira is in the lead, I'll have Kira roll Act Under Pressure, but I will have you add 2 to it.
11.
Okay. So then the group of you, silently as you can, and in as consistent a direction as you can, potentially even walking with hands on shoulders, sort of creep onward through this kelp forest, giving a bit of a wide berth to this sound that you heard, but wending back after a moment towards Skull. And you creep through and you actually start to sort of outrun the expansion of this mist. And Anna, you hear a whisper from behind you say, orange.
Mine's blue.
Yeah, I assumed.
It's the hair, yeah.
Has it always been? Stupid question. Sorry.
Yeah, we continue moving forward.
Okay.
Until we encounter something.
Mark, roll plus sharp.
13.
You are able to tell, based on your connection to there, and based on your sort of vague growing familiarity with the Sea Kingdom and this particular kelp forest, you can tell that there is a small clearing. First of all, I want to set the scene that you are still many meters away from where Skull has a lit and is cleaning his painted feathers.
Mm-hmm.
But you can tell that there is a few yards off to your left, another small clearing. Just, there's something there.
Not suspicious at all. There's something there.
No, it's fine. You guys,
we should go
totally
check out
normal.
this.
Guys, I know we're going this way, but hear me out. I've discovered another area that I think we should check out.
Are we right at the kind of near the entrance of this place that Gad is being held in?
No,
it's still kind of far away.
In between you and it is this other clearing that Mark has noticed.
Okay.
I'm gonna reword that. Hey guys, what about that area over there? Do you see that?
Yeah, I think we might need to go there to get to where we need to go. But something doesn't feel right.
Well, I mean, hold on. Can we read a bad situation on this path? Is there anything that we can tell from it?
Roll read a bad situation.
12.
Ask 3 questions.
Do we notice anything that is familiarly dangerous down this path?
To the extent that you can, and that I will answer that question, the familiar energy you get from down this way, there is, among other things, electricity, like lightning.
Okay. Has this path been taken by anything before?
Not this path, not the way you're coming at it. So you wouldn't be able to get any information about what that is from here. So whatever's come into this clearing has come at it from a different angle.
I mean, I think we're too early for this, but are there any traps that we're not seeing? Or any dangers that we're not aware of besides the lightning?
Yes, there are more kinds of energy coming from that place.
Neat.
Johnny, was the young man standing in a clearing? You said he was leaning against a tree?
It was leaning against a dead outcropping of coral.
Kira, what are your thoughts? Do we take this path or do we...
It doesn't really seem like there's another way to go, right? This is the only way to get to where we need to go.
Unless you try to go around it like you did the other thing.
Yeah, why don't we go around it?
Yeah, let's go around.
Okay. I mean, I could go down this way and then teleport to you guys. If I find something, I can tell you guys. I don't know.
I don't want you to go by yourself because we don't want you to get trapped with this thing.
I think we should just go around.
Let's go around.
Okay.
All go around?
Yeah,
we're all going around.
We're gonna stick together.
Yes.
We're not gonna split the party.
I'm gonna need Kira to roll Act Under Pressure and Mark to roll Help Out.
That is an 8 for Kira.
14.
So you go sneaking around and you will hear, hello? Anyone? I'm in desperate trouble. I do implore you.
Where is that voice coming from?
Is this a trap?
From the thing that you were trying to walk around. From the clearing. If there's someone there, I could really use your help.
Does it sound like anybody we've heard before?
Roll it a bad situation.
This is a fucking scene out of Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah. This is one of those random encounters. 9.
It does not sound like a voice you've heard before.
Okay.
Maybe we should just have one of us go out?
Please, if you walk by, you're killing me.
Sound even more fake.
I'm gonna talk in my head.
Oh, could you use tune in to see what it is?
I could.
I like that idea.
I'm going to try to tune into this individual.
All right, please roll that.
8. What is it planning to do right now?
It's planning to ask you to make a choice. If you were to respond to this, there is a choice that it will ask you to make.
Who is it going to attack next?
Technically, that depends on the choice you make, but eventually, ideally, well, no.
Oh, wait, hold. It says on a 7 to 9, hold 1. So never mind. The honor system, people.
If you approach it, will ask you to make a choice, and then everything will depend on that. That's what you can tell. I do want to also sort of let you know, Mark, that you would be able to tell you are unable to connect to it with telepathy.
Oh, that's different. He must be on a different cell service.
You feel like a tap on your arm, Mark.
Huh?
From Theo. I don't think it's a good idea to approach them, whatever they are.
If it's an opportunity to save somebody, I can't let that go.
I think it would be the other way.
Nothing lives in the sea, Mark. If something's here, it's not Gad's voice.
I know that somebody's not going to make it out of here. And I think if we encounter that, that's going to guarantee it.
What do you mean not make it out of here? What did you...
I just know that someone might not make it out of here. I don't know who.
Who told you that?
When I talked with the Star King, he mentioned it.
Although we have to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I don't think we should encounter this being.
What was the spell that we were going to use that was basically an opportunity to like hologram us or whatever, like make us a decoy or something like that?
Second hand?
I'm wondering if we could position ourselves like that and then make the contact and see if it's worth it.
Look, I'm sorry, but whoever that is, they are not our primary objective. We need to go.
When did we start not helping people?
They have Gad.
Would you leave me to die?
I don't think the choice is any good, Mark.
Whatever God you pray
Please, let's go. Theo's gonna take your hand.
Roll manipulate someone.
Mark, I think this is a trap. Don't forget that they know we're here. They were trying to lure us in. They have constructs made from tarot cards that Tower drew months ago. Cards that were built for each of us, specifically, to attack our weaknesses. What if this is exactly what they're hoping we'll do because we save people?
I rolled a 9.
And if I'm understanding correctly, Theo, you are telling Mark to walk on by and keep going to where Skull is and Gad. Mark, if you leave this person to their fate, you will mark experience.
I'm just afraid that the choice is gonna be to lose you or Lowry or one of us. Please?
Mark?
I think Kira's going to put a hand on your shoulder, Mark. We need to be together on this.
Let's go. And I think Mark brushes the hand off and we start walking this direction again.
Theo's gonna squeeze your hand. Thank you.
So you're going to walk by.
I think Mark says not right now because this is kind of an internal thing for him.
I think Theo's hand falls out of Mark's hand.
No comment. Continues walking.
All right. As you keep walking by, that voice will just be more and more frantic and desperate and will maybe even burst into something like tears and will gradually fade out of earshot. And then you will cut and burn and push your way through this kelp forest into a final clearing that will open into big mounded hill in which there is the mouth of a cave. Beyond this cave, it's just like the portal to get in here was. It's pure black darkness and impossible to see anything.
Mark, without even like blinking or whatever, just like snaps his finger, brings up the fireball again, and has it move forward into the cave a bit.
I am going to ask you to roll use magic.
7.
Pick a glitch.
Take 1 harm.
Okay. It's going to be on your face again. The skin in the cheek below your other eye also scars and cracks, and some skin starts to flake away. It feels just like it felt when you first put the eyes into your head. But
without me dropping to my knees going, fuck.
Yep, you don't drop to your knees. You're stronger than you were then. And then, yeah, from that sort of momentary searing migraine, there does like grow and spark a, like softball sized fireball that sort of flits side to side and looks at you. And then at your command, heads in ahead of you into this cave.
I think Mark directs it into the cave.
It does open up into basically a tunnel that curves off down and to the right, so you'll have to go in after it. Mark, I will have you also roll read a bad situation.
I was going to say, I would do it cautiously. I wouldn't just throw it all the way in there, but...
Okay.
11.
I think the nature of this is going to be, I want to know what 2 things you want to know, and then I'm going to tell you what you see before something notices you after you ask those questions.
What creature inhabits this cave? Or is that too forward?
It's a little too forward.
Oh my god,
You just ask who inhabits this cave.
It is true that I can't tell you that, but what I can tell you is that the cave is new. Like it's fresh. The like way that the sort of elements have eroded the exterior of it versus the way that the tunnel inside and the walls of it look. It's definitely fresh, like within the last few weeks. And the other thing that you notice is that there's like, I guess, divots. It's not smooth all around.
It's like roughly carved.
Roughly carved and clearly sort of, as you're looking at it, dug out sort of with something's bare hands. Like as you kind of look into it, you can kind of see these sort of scalloped edges, and you are kind of figuring out that that's the dig of fingers. Like if you were to dig yourself in wet sand with your bare hands, it wouldn't be a perfect scoop. It would be kind of scalloped around your fingers. So something dug this with its hands.
How big is this entrance?
I think from floor to ceiling, it's maybe 15 feet.
Can I ask a clarifying question?
Mm-hmm.
Is there any blood on these walls or in divots?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, none at all.
Is there a immediate place that we can hide from whatever's in here?
The only place that you can kind of hide would be around the corner on this tunnel. Like it does kind of go down and off to one side, and then I think it makes a sharp turn in the other direction. That would be the place.
And you said this thing takes notice of us?
I did not say that. There is something in here. You are well aware. In this cave is where both Gad and Oscar Henriksen are.
Is there a way we could draw the thing out of the cave, maybe?
I was going to say, maybe, do we want to try that a decoy thing?
You really want to use that?
Yeah, I do. Because I think we can use it. Unless this thing is smarter than us.
Okay, well then, yeah. I mean, if we want to try to maybe grab the attention of whatever is in here, I think we could cause a diversion with this illusion to maybe try to draw it out.
But Johnny, you said that we can only hide in the immediate tunnel there, which puts us in the way of this thing.
I mean, I would assume we could get out.
Yeah, the only place in the tunnel that you could hide would be around the corner. But outside there would be the whole forest.
Would I be able to ask a question, Johnny?
You could ask a question. What do you want to know?
When I was like observing this cave, did I notice any other entrances besides this tunnel? Kind of pulling some inspiration from an early cover story episode.
Duluth Part 3.
Yeah. When there was a entrance in the back. I'm kind of wondering if Theo would know if there's another entrance in or another way in.
Roll investigate a mystery.
14! Advance move! Is there another way into the cave?
Yes.
Sorry, Johnny.
It's small, and low, but near where you saw the sort of walking stick leaning, there does appear to be another way. I don't think you would know where it lets out on the other end, so you would have to go looking for it.
I was going to say, too, I mean, with the smaller entrance and stuff, that gives us a more narrow escape if something goes wrong.
That's true.
I mean, we have direct access to the jungle here, and I would assume we would have that on the other side, but tighter squeeze means one of us gets grabbed.
Of our group, who's the most vulnerable?
What do you mean by that? To what?
To whatever this creature is, or I guess just like who's in the most danger of us?
In there, Kira.
Don't tell me the odds.
Okay, let's do the solution.
Okay.
So it's very important for me to know what spell are you going to cast and where is everybody?
We're outside, hiding in a bush.
Hiding as best we can. The idea, I think, is for the illusion to be of our group kind of like moving,
Bumbling in.
like kind of like sneaking in, and then like if I hear
looking as though we're actually
like trying to sneak in,
sneak.
and then like if it's seeing, if we hear movement or whatever, then I think then she'll start to pull the illusion like back as if like they're retreating out of the tunnel.
try to kite them out.
Try to see if we can maybe get a couple of them out. Yeah, I just don't love going into a tunnel where we're going into their dead. If we can get them out, that would be ideal.
All right. Anna, roll use magic.
Okay. Actually, 13, because I have my spell book.
So yeah, she does some things, says some words, crushes some herbs, and then there is just a big sort of simulacra of the group of you standing at the mouth of this tunnel. And then they go in.
Yeah, I think Anna kind of pushes it forward and then retreats back so that she's hidden.
Okay. They go in, they go around the corner, they go beyond your sight. You hear some noise from inside.
Okay, I think if it starts to sound like it's just some commotion, then I think they're going to pull.
Stomping and shuffling.
She'll pull back.
And then, okay, then you see this illusory version. Those of you who are sort of looking around the corner see this illusory version of you guys come running out and run into the plants. And then out of the cave, something arcs out of the mouth of it and lands and slides bodily up to about the edge of the clearing. It's maybe 6 feet tall. It is a big, bulky arm.
They came out of this thing's mouth?
It came out of the mouth of the cave. Something threw it.
Oh, okay. It's like something just threw up an arm.
It is not gilded. It is not inscribed. It is fleshy and seems to end in a stump of vaguely bloody, almost necrotic tissue.
I hate that.
And you can see a bit of bruising around the wrist. And then you will hear from inside the cave, "Do you imagine I've never seen illusions before? Has she sent you then?"
Does Kira or Anna recognize this voice?
No.
Mark in his head to Kira. I think we need a plan B.
Hey, Johnny.
I'm Johnny.
This is the first time that we're encountering this weird giant arm.
It sure is.
And I don't like that it has necrotic energy.
Is it natural, an unnatural creature, a weird phenomenon, or a person?
Are you trying to banish it?
I'm trying to use my Occam's broadsword move.
At the bottom of all of it, it is a person.
Question. Is Mark a shard of my mother's power? Because I am of the same bloodline, does that mean that I am part of her power?
That's not what she means.
She's talking about the Witchwood.
Mark is just hoping that...
I'm just hoping that there was something there that I could use here because I have access to me.
Are you wanting to, like, call upon Ro for something?
Yes, but I don't think she'll grant anything unless I reach out. Or unless I'm able to do that thing.
I don't know, you could always ask.
I am going to contact Ro.
All right. That's going to be a pretty straight up manipulate someone.
Because that's the one thing that will not kill me right now.
Yeah, Mark's great at that.
11.
All right.
Ro?
Prince.
Found myself in another situation.
As you have. You're in the sea.
Indeed we are. We're trying to get a friend out. And it seems that we're in a really tight predicament right now and could use your help to get out of that and potentially save our friend.
What are you asking for?
A solution.
No. You must understand. This is fraught for me, politically. You're stepping on more than one king's territory here. There are things that he's seen. And you, well, them, alive, aren't even supposed to be there.
What can I give to you outside of what I owe you that I can have you help me with this? Can I give you a piece of me to resolve the situation?
I'll tell you what I could use. And then without knowing why, your head turns to look at Theo.
Mark?
A piece of her. There are moves being made in the future and in the past. Much of it centers on him and the bit of him that is in her. There is little I could not give you, Mark. If you could give me that.
Mark?
But for now, there's a very large part indeed of your mother's power within that cave. All of it. Give me all of it. And make your request, and we will have a deal. Forfeit on your end, and we will have a problem.
So just so I understand, all of Mother's power is in this room.
There is something in this room that Ro wants all of.
It's that wood, I believe. The Witchwood.
I assume it's
She'll help
the
you in
wood,
this situation if you give her all of that. The other thing that she has her eye on, so to speak,
is Theo. The piece of him that's in Theo.
that would be rather helpful indeed in whatever movements she may be in the midst of making. So there you go. 2 fun options.
What are you going to do, Mark Clayton?
I realize there are no conditions that I'm able to set here as I am asking for help. But from me to you, I hope whatever's in that room is held with great responsibility. You have my word.
It feels as though 3 of your vertebrae twist and slide into place like a lock being set. Your word.
Oh boy.
Your word is binding.
So now, out of character, what is it you want? Is there something that you are specifically hoping for, or are you really grasping and hoping that she can give you something?
No, I think a form of protection that is directly related to the advantage that whoever's in this cave has over us. Is that specific enough?
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, obviously we don't know what we are fully up against. And I think having something that can directly...
You want defense.
Yes. Some kind of defense against this power that they have over us. So I have a strong feeling we are outnumbered.
So what did you do, Mark?
So Mark sort of looks up and blinks a couple of times out of his sort of reverie, as far as you can tell, and is suddenly holding a black metal. I am aware the term for the kind of shield is a tower shield.
Oh my god.
It's like a sort of curved rectangle, black metal that has...
And sorry, this just spawns on me? Or
yeah,
what?
You just have this.
Okay.
And you don't know where it came from. Embossed into the front of it, the top half reminds you of nothing more than a mushroom cloud, like from an atomic bomb explosion. But where it connects with the ground, it very clearly spreads out into the bottom half in tree roots. Go out and spread down. That's the iconography on this shield.
Quite the elaborate shield. I called on Ro with one condition.
What's that?
That she gets whatever energy is in here. And she wants all of it.
She wants all of it? What for?
Didn't say. But I think that's kind of our only option right now. And I'm bound to my word on that.
You promised her all of it?
Look, I wasn't in a position to negotiate that. And we also aren't in a position to negotiate anything else right now. We need to move. I'd rather get through this and everybody survives than someone dying.
That makes 2 of us. Are we going to advance in the cave, or are we going to try talking to this whoever is talking to us?
That's a good question.
I think Kira might call out, "Who's she? Tower?"
I think you hear a breathless murmur and then nothing.
Why don't you come out here?
Roll manipulate someone.
And this is the cave that Skull had landed on.
Yep.
Kira rolls a 12 advanced move, and I think she says, "Come out, Oscar."
So you hear some shuffling, and then around the corner, first this like huge, the hand itself is about like 3 or 4 feet across.
Jesus.
Like kind of grips the side of the wall, and like sort of this huge hooded head peeks around the corner, and it goes, "Abigail, mein Gott."
It certainly has been a while. You forgive me, I don't really remember you.
And then he shifts sort of into view, and then he's just got this big dangly robe, just this huge hulking form. One shoulder is kind of open, and there is like a big gaping wound on it that roughly matches up to the edge of the arm that was hurled out of the cave. And he sort of tenderly steps towards the entrance to it. "Has it worked? Was she harvested?"
You think I'd be here if it wasn't?
Roll manipulate someone.
10.
I'm having trouble imagining why you would be here unless she hadn't.
We're here for who you have in the cave.
The boy, he is nothing. He is fodder. You are here for the one who has done this to me. But if she is not here, then there is not.
Why don't you tell us what's going on? Who did that to you?
He sort of droops his head a bit and steps deeper in, and you can kind of see some things roiling underneath his big robe. And then his head snaps back up, and you can see a glint of a like candle bright eye, but not where it should be, like several inches too low behind this, underneath this hood is this glint of this eye. And he goes, "I smell fire. Why do I smell the flames if she is gone?" He's gonna like drop down.
As he does that, am I able to take the shield and shove it into the ground?
Roll act under pressure. Where do you want to shove it?
Damn.
Easy.
Where the sun don't shine.
I want to shove it into the ground, expecting it to shield us from whatever he's about to do.
Okay.
9.
So here's what's going to happen. He is going to sort of drop down onto all fours, bear crawl the rest of the way through this tunnel at you. You will run in front of him. You won't be able to sort of slam it down into the ground. You will get this shield up in between you and him and all of your friends behind you. But he will slam into it. It will take no damage, and you will take no damage. His other still robed shoulder will slam into this thing, and you will skid back 10 whole feet into this clearing.
I think Mark's like, holy shit.
And I think the momentum of that will cause the robe to fly off of this figure's shoulders, and you will see that the thing that was underneath them was about a dozen of these huge arms. He's now like sort of leaning forward onto one of his right forearms, and then there are these other ones that some of them seem poised to strike, some of them are just reaching up as if in prayer. And then, but all of him is just this like very pallid, almost alabaster sheen, like a very pale, almost gray skin. And he's huge. And the other thing that you can see is that glint of an eye that you saw, some of the skin on the side, the left side of his cheek has just been burned away, and there is inside of his mouth a glowing orange eye.
Okay.
Am I able to target that with some type of fire attack?
Sure. Roll it if you want to.
God damn it. Fireball is 7.
I think you shoot it, and Kira kind of gives you a look, Mark, and is like, "Remember, we're not killing him."
Right.
Pick a glitch, Mark.
Draws unwanted attention.
You hold that hand, and I think you fire kind of a ray of fire. And some of it does like dig into sort of his collarbone and up his neck, but then a lot of it is pulled into that eye that does then burst into flames. It sort of just has the same glowing ember candle energy as your eyes do. A little bit brighter and a little bit more active than they were before.
Kira might actually turn towards Theo and be like, Theo, he said she did this to him. Can you, is there something invisible that we're not seeing that's controlling him? Can you open up your eyes?
Theo's not there.
What?
No, she's not around.
Where is she?
I don't know. She was here a few minutes ago, but you turn around and she's not there.
I'm going to murder you. Theo!
Oh, man.
I think Kira looks around to see where, like, a trace of Theo anywhere. Can I read a bad situation?
Sure.
10. Does it look like Theo has been taken?
There's nothing to suggest that.
Where did she go?
I can't answer that.
Can Mark just reach out telepathically and be like, where'd you go?
Roll use magic.
12.
Theo. Mark's voice appears in your head.
Theo?
I want to get Gad. Keep him busy.
If you tell Kira that.
She's okay.
Fuck. Do I see anything visible on Oscar that looks like there's something that's controlling him? He said she did something to him, so I'm wondering if there's something that we can see on him.
Roll read a bad situation.
Yeah, I got a 13.
The freebie I will give you is that he is injured. Not only is he fully missing one of his arms, I think he has the old remnants of the puckering of burn scars, but those are well healed over. You know, there's a ton of them. But I think there's much more recent, sort of magically, if frantically healed cuts and completely unhealed bruises. And so many of them. Enough of these that, like, based on what you can kind of tell about whatever's going on with his huge inhuman body, there's more than one mortal wound there.
Okay. Are there any dangers we haven't noticed?
She knows you're here. No, she knows you're here.
Yeah. Okay. What's the best way to protect the victims?
As in Gad.
Yeah.
Get him away from that big hunk of wood inside this cave.
Okay. And that thing was like draining his life from him, right? It was his his life energy. Was it attached to him in any way, or it was just near him?
It was near enough to him that it was pulling from him.
Is there any way the best way to like incapacitate Oscar? Or like power him down or something?
Keep him away from that hunk of wood.
Okay. And the last thing that he had done was kind of bash up against the shield that Mark had, right?
Yep.
And he's got like a dozen arms. How do we remove them? The same way as the other ones? Like there's like a hinge or something?
No, these aren't doll arms like that. This is arms growing out of his back. A bit more like the accidental arms that happened on those things that came out of Vincent Snow's truck. They're his arms. They grow out of his back.
Is there a reverse spell for no arms?
Say it backwards.
Yeah.
Is this like Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z? Like, does he have any like runes on him or anything like that we can pinpoint or that's causing him to be able to have these abilities to grow arms? I don't know.
You have no concept of why he can do the things he can do. Mark, from the eye that he has in his mouth, roll read a bad situation.
Anna is going to start taking her staff that she had enchanted magically and is going to try to fuck up one of these arms.
Mark, what did you roll?
9.
There is a kind of fire within him. It's different from yours. There is a huge slam from behind you, and then the sort of kelp forest, the stalks that reach up to the sky are just riven down the center, and they part like the fucking Red Sea. And then there is nothing obscuring your vision between you and a knight with metallic wings coming off of his helmet, a young man who has 2 goblets in each hand, and behind them both, taller than you remember, but wearing the same robe, though her shoulders do reach quite a bit higher its tower. Her hair has gone a bit gray, as has her skin, and she looks not at you, but at him. You are interfering where you don't belong, old man. Or should I snip off a few more of your limbs? Executive producer Jonny Grubb. This has been The Monsters Playbook, featuring
Detjen-Wander as Mark Clayton.
Lauren Johnson as Anna and Kira Ashwood.
Miah Detjen-Wander as Theo Nessos.
and Jonny Grubb as literally everybody else. Our theme song is by me, Jonny Grubb. The Monsters Playbook is produced and engineered by Miah Detjen-Wander and edited by Miah Detjen-Wander and Lauren Johnson. If you like this episode, please tell a friend. We love friends. You can find the Monsters Playbook on the social network of your choice. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, and now on Blue Sky. You can hang out with us on our Discord. And if you like what we're doing, please consider supporting us on Patreon. We'll see you next episode where, as always, I'll have some good news and some bad news. Thanks for listening. With that roll, this fireball will just sort of maintain itself and kind of hover and be totally within your control. So you can like kind of have it hover a little ways above you or in front of you. It'll walk with you.
It's like a little familiar that follows me around.
Yeah. It's like dancing lights.
What the fuck is dancing lights?
It's a spell in D&D.
What the fuck is D&D?
I don't know.
That is staying in this.
That right there is the blooper for the episode.
What the fuck is D&D?
It's this game we used to play.
Monster of the Week is the best game in the world. Anybody who says differently is a fucking cop.
Best game in the universe.
Excuse me.